Okay, joining me on my left is Film Comments editor-at-large, Kent Jones, and this man needs no introduction. We'll ask questions from the audience, but first, just to get the ball rolling, I've got a few questions to ask you. I've watched the film again tonight. Careful. Yeah, I know it's tricky. At what point did you realize that you were making a sequel to In the Mood for Love? Was it something that you had in your mind from the start, or was it something that gradually emerged in the process of making the film?
Oh, in fact, I started these two projects, actually, In the Mood for Love and 246, at the same time. We shoot two films back to back to each other. At first, we think In the Mood for Love would take only like 3 months, but it takes 9 months. And so we have to delay productions of 246. So at the very beginning, we never thought this, like 246, is going to be a sequel to In the Mood for Love. But somehow, during the process, I realized the two films is connected in a certain way. Because during the shooting of In the Mood for Love, while we're shooting in a hotel room, there's numbers. And I think, well, it would be fun to put the number as 246, because that will be the next film. And it's like a joke between ourselves. But it becomes trouble, the beginning of the trouble. So somehow these two films is connected. But in a way, even though today when I look at these two films, I don't think 246 is served like a sequel. It's like a continuation, because I think the two films actually is about two different subjects. In the Mood for Love for me is a love story. It's a story about two persons. And in 246 actually is a story about love. It's about the writer, Johnnie To himself. So it's two different things.
Well, to kind of follow on this train of thought, one of the things that's really, really clear is that the whole mood and the feeling and the style of 2046 is very different, completely different from The Mood for Love. And so it's interesting that you were making two films almost simultaneously, and yet stylistically they're so different. And I wondered if you could talk a little bit about how you were able to keep them separate in your mind, given that there was this kind of overlap, and if you could talk about how you conceived of the overall style of 2046.
In fact, I find it very difficult to make the difference between these two films. So at a certain point, one of the reasons I want to put the numbers 246 on that hotel rooms is I want to consider this two film as one film, but in different chapters. So the way we look at In the Mood for Love is like observations. It's about these two persons, Maggie and Tony, the writers. But in 246, it's more like about this man, and Maggie in the film is not a person. He's a memory, an image, an idea, which you want to compare all the women around him to that image.
You know, following Gavin's question in terms of style, then I'm very basic.